Always brave, we are here. Woman, you're no woe man. Shed not a single tear. Rise up and revere yourself. There is no need to fear. Some of us are black, some of us are white, but the blood we bleed is red as we fight for women's rights. Some of us have died so others can live a life. We fought with spears for freedom. Bloody was our strife. Remember Maroon Mother of Jamaica, known as Granny Nanny. Enslaved in Ghana, she ran away in JA, beat the Brits with obeah and strategy. Remember Yao Asantewaa, the Akan Queen of Ghana, led her community in 1890. She resisted British power. Remember Mabel Ping Hua Lee. Of Chinese heritage, she campaigned in the States for women's suffrage. Then later worked tirelessly as a Baptist minister, where in Chinatown she was respected for her courage. Remember Emily Davidson, the English lawless lassie, killed by a royal racing horse as marked in suffrage history. Remember Helen Keller. From young she was left mute, deaf and blind until Anne Sullivan helped her to communicate. She then became a scholar and championed disability rights. Remember Amelia Earhart, a pioneer pilot who achieved the Atlantic flight. Next, she tried to fly the globe. Both plane and Amelia permanently disappeared from sight. Remember Ghana's Nua Ama, a Methodist healer, carer and prophetess, whom President Nkrumah once visited and received her spiritual bless. Remember Rosa Parks, that First Lady of Civil Rights, refused to relinquish her seat and support the segregationist plight. Remember Hollins and Frank, pursued by the Nazis for being a Jew. To avoid capture, she and her family hid in their home. During her short life, diary writings helped her from being subdued. Remember Jessica Huntley, Guyanese co-founder of Bogle Louverture Press. A campaigner for rights, she penned powerful fights. With spouse Eric, black publishing has progressed. Remember Elaine Johnson Sirleaf, Africa's first female president, jailed and abused in Liberia for challenging sexual violence. Remember Mukta May. She was gang raped in Pakistan. Her attackers were never convicted. She now teaches their children despite that harm. Remember Dr. Maria Santos Gorextita, mayor once in a Mexican town. She stood up to the drugs mafia, but at 36 was tragically gunned down. Remember Samira Ibrahim, a 26-year-old Egyptian activist. In 2011, she joined a Cairo sit-in and faced torture for taking such risks. Remember Nzola Ngwaza, the South African gay rights activist who was stoned down to death in 2008. Her two male killers received penal justice. Remember Malala Yousafzai, youngest winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. A Taliban's bullet failed to silence her. Today, she fights for children's rights. Remember Greta Thunberg, Sweden's teenage staunch environmentalist. At 16, she skipped school and protested outside her parliament, sparking a youth movement and world leaders to act to the climate crisis. Remember British Labour MP Jo Cox, a human rights campaigner for refugees, until a neo-Nazi assassinated her cold-bloodedly in a Yorkshire street. Remember Sarah Everard, a marketing executive who was just walking home until police officer Wayne Couzens kidnapped, raped and murdered her. Convicted in 2021, campaigns on women's safety have since grown. Remember Sabina Nessa, an outstanding British Bangladeshi schoolteacher, murdered by Ghodchi Salamjak, a predatory stranger. The UK press was criticised for underreporting a woman of colour. Remember Sasha Johnson, a brilliant black British Black Lives Matter activist, shot in the head while at a party. 10 months on, her perpetrators have yet to face criminal justice. Remember Gisèle Pelicot, her husband and 72 other men he recruited. In France, covertly drugged and raped her. Waivering anonymity, eventually they were convicted. Some of us suffer in silence, and some of us struggle just to save. But remember now, just like any other day, the women who were are always brave. Woman, you're no woman. Shed not a single tear. Rise up and revere yourself. Whoa, wow, man, we are here.